Good stuff.
Yeah. How's it going, Steve?
I'm doing well.
Doing good. Started bidding to buy that card. You know, so you've got this, you know, this whole.
Okay, are we ready to rock and roll? So before I forget, the pod today is $70. Because I will forget between now and it's time to do the draw. So let us start with a thought of the day. Stephen, are you prepared?
Yeah. Here, so they just put the word out. If you thought about it at all.
It's been put, you know, since for 5 years, 7 years, we've been building this money. We also have a bequest that in the next year or so will be coming to us. And we can continue to let this fund grow and look for another project. It's my desire that this club take a long look at Kenilworth Park and find a way to integrate not only Rotary, but Petaluma Sunrise Rotary as the major sponsor of this, to have signage, maybe a grand promenade opening with our name on it and a Rotary logo. But it's going to take club support. I don't think any president or any absolutely. Yes, George.
I got a couple.
There was a park that we went to that he had not been to before. And it was like one of these ones where you got to take Sunny Hill or Sunny whatever it is.
I Street out to, yeah.
Yeah, waving up and past and over where the new houses are. And so we actually went there. So what are the garbage cans? Well, here is Leland standing in front of pallets of garbage cans. There are blue cans and black cans. The cans look like this if you don't have the plastic. All right, well, we'll just do it a different way. So anyway, here are the garbage cans. And what it is that originally we thought that we were going to have to drill multiple holes. Well, it turns out that they have 4 adjustable feet, but they only have 1 hole to actually hold the garbage can to the ground. It uses a 5/8 inch bolt. And so actually, if you're talking about clear, clean cement, the installation is drill a hole, put the bolt in, tighten it down, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it can be very, very quick installation. The units themselves are less than 2 feet wide. So that means that the cement pads that we're going to do, the forms that I'm building are 7 feet by 3 feet. So not that big, all right? And why am I doing that when these are less than 24 inches? Because the intent is to put 3 cans in the future at these sites. So there's going to be a blue can for recycle, a black can for garbage, and then a green can for compost. They didn't buy the green cans, so yeah. Okay, well, here are the parks and the breakdown of the number of cans. So like at Leghorn, we have 4 cans, so 2 and 2, no cement. Grant Park, this one requires cement. And La Tercera. La Tercera. Anyway, that one requires cement. And the other ones require no cement, but require at least 4 cans for each. So there's actually, I mean, and if you think about it, 4 cans, that's really not going to take that long if you've got cement that's already there. Okay, so at Leghorn, what they've done is that they have garbage cans spread all out throughout the park already that are just regular garbage cans. They've put all of the recycle cans in one place. So what we're going to do is we're essentially going to take these 4 garbage cans, we're going to pull those out, and we're going to put the new ones in place. So this is going to be really, really, I mean, think about it. You know, I'm sure that Steve and Jeff could both drill 4 holes, probably in a period of 20 minutes, and then put the cans in. So it's getting the cans there is probably more important than anything else. So then we've got Grant. Now Grant is more challenging because what they've decided, this is not cement. This is like gravel yuck, all right? And this one, we are going to put cement in. The problem is that this sucker weighs a friggin' ton. Yeah. And so this is going to take sledgehammer and breaking up and doing everything, getting that out of there. This is a hand wash station right here. This is going to require more work, and then pouring the pad to put in. And like I said, what I'm doing is I'm building the pad, the frame for the pad, and then there's going to be wire that goes in there, and then do the cement. The good news is that there's reasonably a straight shot from the street, right? So if I use a ready mix machine, I think I can actually drive across here and then use ready mix to pour into the frame. So if we get both of the frames done in advance, I think we'll be able to actually pour the cement in one day and get that set. You'll see later on in the scheduling what that impact is.
When you said wire, you put rebar.
I'm not doing rebar, I'm using wire. Yeah, welded wire. Because the rebar is too much of a hassle. So on this one, this is also, they're existing cans, right? But they're just regular cans. So there's no destruction that has to take place. We just move it out of here. The issue is that we've got to be careful because they ran electrical to these light poles, all right? And we're purely assuming that, you know, there's a light pole over here, and we're assuming that it ran like that and then over to the other light pole. And then there's water lines for here. And so what we're going to do is we're not going to go down probably more than 2 inches, all right? And so the pad will stick up out of there a little bit, but that way we're not going to hit any electrical lines or water lines while we're doing that, because I don't want to deal with that at all.
Is that ADA?
Huh?
Does that meet ADA? That it's sticking up like that?
I don't think there's an ADA issue with garbage cans,
Yeah, I don't think there is.
of course.
I'm going to assume there's not. Because if I went down 4 inches, who knows how deep they dug that.
Go 411 and get them just to walk in. 811, yeah.
811? Okay. It's another project.
And then you can have dig.
Well, no, we're going to be hand digging anyway.
It's all gonna be hand dug.
Hey, Bob, got a question for you real quick.
Yeah?
You're holding these cans down, how do you not load it? Do they have an inner liner or?
Yeah, it's a plastic liner.
Okay.
And the difference between this and cans like this is that obviously on the other ones, they actually have to lift the can out of the container. And what it is that the containers that were purchased have a door that swings open and can just pull it out through the bottom. So it's easier on the person that's having to deal with it.
Well, the other problem with that particular one, maybe you should get it downtown, but take on a garbage can, solve it.
Well, this is a 3-club project, so they're going to be working with it anyway. Okay, at McDowell. Actually, we lucked out on this one because originally they wanted to replace an existing can with the new cans. When Leland and I went to visit the site, it was like, here's a picnic area shown here. And I took pictures and said, you know, it makes more sense to put it here, all right, where the arrow's pointing. And so when the city came back with their pictures, they said, we think that it should go there. And it's like, oh yeah,
Perfect.
okay, we agree with that. And that's a nice cement pad, really clean, again. So it's 2 cans, no cement work. You know, that's
That's easy.
an hour max, probably a half an hour to get it in place. McNear. Now McNear is a little bit more challenging. There are 4 cans to replace existing 2 cans, not the bird, but garbage cans. And what these are is that these have to be actually cut. So you'll see later on that I say, you know, using a Sawzall and or a grinder to cut these off. So because they've got to be cut off flush with that so that we have enough to be able to put them back down. You know, again, I've got, mine's a Makita wireless, you know, and it's like, that'll probably take me 10 minutes to cut those off. So it's not a big deal. But anyway, so there are 2 locations here. That's why there's 4 cans. Then you've got Lucchese. And Lucchese, they want 4 cans altogether to replace existing cans. And these are tied down also. So they have to be cut to get rid of these 2 units and then the other units put in place. Now we've got to be a little bit careful because of the diameter. We want to make sure to be closer to the center of these pads here to actually drill the holes, because we don't want to be in one of the cracks or it's not going to stay, it's not going to be set. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward, open space, not too big of a deal. Okay, tools, where I talked about for no cement, basically a cutoff grinder or Sawzall. And probably, since there's no power at any of these places, it needs to be battery operated. A 5/8" cement drill and an impact drill gun, which I'm sure most people that have that equipment have it. That's pretty much it. Yes.
Is the hold down bolt epoxy or is it a wedge anchor or what is it?
You know, it's a wedge anchor. And I haven't decided whether I probably want to maybe invest in buying some epoxy to go in there as well. I mean,
It's an expansion bolt.
Yeah, so which means the slab has to be some minimum thickness.
you know,
Otherwise,
I'm used to having ones that are like about 3 inches long.
yeah.
This one is like 2 inches.
Oh.
And it compresses from both sides. I hadn't seen one like that before.
So you don't drill full depth, you just drill your 2
Yeah.
inches.
And normally what I do is I'll take the drill and I'll put some tape on it so that way I only go down so far before, you know, so we don't over drill.
Okay.
But it is. Now for the cement, obviously, generally speaking, the ground for both of the places where we're doing cement is not friendly. It's going to take some work, all right? And so I will have gone out beforehand and spray painted where the square needs to be. And then we'll need picks and shovels and a wheelbarrow to take apart stuff. Yeah, you know, I thought about that, but I don't have one. So.
Rent one.
Huh?
Just rent one.
What's that?
Rent a jackhammer.
Yeah.
Except for that place where there's.
Yeah, but you get the 811 first, so you know.
Well, the areas where we need to put new cement in, it's all dirt. So
That's not a problem. Then you have to shovel.
a pick and a shovel should do it.
And so, and then I'm gonna have the wood frame and steel spikes to hold the frame in place, and then wire for that, and then cement, wheelbarrow, and trowel. And then, after that dries, then same parts that we have for up here. So that's what it requires from a tool standpoint. There may be something else that I just don't know, but that should cover it. From a schedule standpoint, I'm looking at April the 13th to the 15th to actually do the 2 cement sites. So I'll need some volunteers to help with that at those 2 sites somewhere in that time frame. So I'll be polling people for doing that. On the 16th, that's when we would actually do that's a Saturday. That's where we would actually do the install of all of the non-cement ones. And the question is, why is it that late? That's because we've got wiffle ball and we've got other events that are going on. And that's the only free Saturday on my schedule that I found that doesn't have something else happening on it. Then on between the 25th and the 27th, we'd probably install the cans on the 2 cement sites. And that, again, is because we've got other events that are happening on weekends after that. So it's like, to try to get this project finished in the month of April, there are a lot of people that are doing a lot of things in every single club. And so this is sort of the best case that I can figure out from a timing standpoint. And I don't think, I think that the biggest one are the 2 sites where we've got to do the cement. That's going to take the most manpower. I've got so far names of 3 people from one of the Rotary clubs and 2 people from another Rotary club. So I think on the day of install, on the 16th, we're probably going to have more than enough people to do it. And quite truthfully, if I said optimistically, what would it take? Probably be done in an hour for the ones that don't require cement, other than doing the cutting, right? Which again, if you've got a good cutter, it's like you can go through that stuff pretty quick. I mean, I cut half-inch steel in no time at all. So cutting a couple of bolts is not going to be a big deal. But okay, any questions?
Bob, how are we going to get the cans from the Courtyard to the sites, especially since the Courtyard will be closed on weekends? So we need to pick up everything ahead of time.
Yeah, actually, I'm either going to be taking my dump trailer because I can put up to 6 or even 8 cans in my dump trailer, and then the other would be my flatbed trailer. So I'll just go to the yard and pick everything up and then drop them off at the site. Some of them I don't really have a lot of issue because they're close enough to where there's a road to where, it's not a big deal. Now, we may have to do that on the Friday before, so they'll sit there for overnight, before they get installed. Let's see. Yes.
Just an observation, if there's any issues with the plumbing, electrical, or ADA, remember this was all happening during Leland years, so it's no harm.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Jeff.
On the ones where you're casting new concrete, pouring new concrete, can you just do a cast in place bolt instead of drilling it later?
I thought about that. I may still do that.
You mean put the anchor?
Yeah, you put the
cast
anchor in advance and then just drop the can right on it, put the bolt
If
on.
you have that going on though, meaning incredibly simple, Jaden, how long does it take to set so that somebody can't come along and whack on it with a hammer and set it off?
Couple of weeks.
Yes.
So first of all, good word set. So it's not cement, it's concrete. The cement is the powder and it doesn't dry, it sets or cures. And it'd take about 3 hours for concrete to cure to the point where somebody can't knock it out. So the other thing I would do, I used to be a civil engineer. So the other thing I would do is I would check with the city about concrete quality. You may not be able to use just mixed in a wheelbarrow concrete. You may need to have industrial, well-made, mixed concrete. So you may need to have a concrete truck deliver to the two sites in a very short period of time.
Well, that's why I was going to use ready mix. That, I mean, with the, from
Okay.
Marin, Sonoma Marin landscape.
And with only needing 2 pads, I'm not even sure if we could get Shamrock or anybody to deliver it. It isn't enough concrete.
It's pretty small.
Yeah.
Two pads would be about a yard.
That's what I'm figuring is about a yard.
Yeah. And each one of those things from somewhere in is a yard. So-
Right,
So 2 pads per delivery.
right. Yeah, I'm figuring once the pads are in place, then I probably pick it up with my Jeep so that way I've got 4-wheel drive and I can drive along the path and then back it in to where I actually do the dump. After going through the experience with Jeff and putting that monument and the other park,
Yeah.
having to mix lots and lots of bags of cement, it's like, it's like, can we do this without having to do that? I mean, it turns out that at the one park, literally, there's a pathway driving right all the way up to it. And the ground is so hard that it's like, I'm not going to sink anything in. Okay, other questions? Right.
How many vehicles do you have?
How many what?
Chief, you got them out and you
Lots.
The Tuttle fleet.
And my vehicle will tow, so I'll just get a receiver and if your trailer takes a 2-inch ball, I can tow also.
Okay,
Sonoma Marin, they require 3/4 ton truck
yeah.
to tow the concrete.
Well, I can also use my Dodge truck to do that.
Only motorcycles do that.
None, no motorcycles.
So bottom line is that we're going to get started in this in 2 weeks. If you can help any one of those sets of days, even if it's to stand around, we're going to be taking pictures. If somebody wants to come take pictures, that's great. Joanne Ferris from the Downtown Club is putting together all of the documentation to send to the district so we get our money back. And we had to push the city really hard on this to get us these sites so we could get this done by the end of May when we have to turn in the documentation. So this is going to, what's that?
Yes, what it is that I just finished this last night. And so, I plan to send out, I probably will send out the whole PowerPoint presentation as well as putting in the dates. And the other 2 clubs will be getting this morning.
So the important thing is anybody that works on this project is sure to keep Leland's contact information with you. So when something goes wrong, the emergency people know who to contact.
Yeah, so if any of the neighbors call in the middle of demolition that somebody's vandalizing the park, just tell the cops I sent you. All right,
Okay.
anything else?
That should be it.
And then just one last clarification. My company did not donate these. We sold them at raw cost. So we were able to do more parks that way. The district grant paid for half of these cans, and then we provided more cans to the city at cost so that they could double the orders, but, so we didn't actually provide the cans, we just did it at cost.
Quick question on the maintenance of these. I see that some of the old parks have those cans that can get pushed. And then the garbage people will come and, put those cans in the garbage truck. Is this going to require the city to have